West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Scorched Earth Tactics says start already. Well, I started now. Now what? Thing is, I'll start when I feel like it, to be honest. The thing about social media, right? Here's the biggest thing about social media. People forget on social media that I ain't your slave. And you also have a right to not tune in. So when people cuss me, I was just reading a couple of cusses I was getting on Insta. And whenever I see people cuss on Insta, I'm always like, who's more sad? You for me, for my poor take in your eyes, or you for thinking I've got a poor take and then getting angry and writing, taking the time to go da 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 da. Bury you man have no life, you know. It's long for you. I've got no life because I'm recording this, but some of you got even less life because you're watching me recording this. How about that? The thing is, I don't beg no one to watch Caribbean Cricket Podcast. If you want to watch, you want to watch. If you don't want to watch, you don't want to watch. I was just watching. Do you know, I was just watching before I went live. Somebody just sent me a clip from TV Jamaica. Yeah. Obviously, I was born in Jamaica, blah, blah, blah. But somebody just sent me a clip from TV Jamaica where they've just done they've just done like a big item on the sports news about West Indies reaching out to the Caribbean diaspora around the world to try and boost up the West Indies team. And I was watching it and I was thinking, CCP's influential out here. And yeah, I'm being bossy, but CCP is influential out here. Does anybody, I'm being totally objective right now, does anybody remember anyone in the media, anyone on YouTube orientated media talking about reach out to the diaspora before I mentioned it? Does anyone remember anybody talking about it before I started talking about it? So whenever people say to me, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, you best believe Cricket West Indies is taking ideas that I'm mentioning. You best believe it. And that's not the big I am speech. That's just me talking facts as far as I'm concerned. Now we're having real proper conversations about reaching out to the diaspora. But CCP, fam. And then people want to tell me that I don't know what I'm going on about. Okay. Say less. Anyways, we're here to talk about day 2. The first day of the test series, let me put it this way. The first day of the test series where West Indies were not annihilated. And it's slim pickings. This is a quick show, by the way. There's only 20 minutes for this show. Santoki couldn't make it today. He's on dad duty. So this is a little quick 20-minute because I want to go about my business as well. It sounds ridiculous to say we weren't annihilated because at the end of day 2, we're 140 for 4, right? And I think most rational and most sane West Indian fans would say, in fact, let's get in the comments below. Let's start making this a bit interactive. How, yes or no, I should just put a poll in the chat. How many people believe we'll reach the follow-on tomorrow? Let's start with that first. I don't even know what the follow-on is. Somebody told me we need another 178 runs. So if that's correct, that means we need to reach 300, something like 318. Is that right? Something like that. Govinda Singh says, even if we don't reach the follow-on, he doesn't think India will enforce it. Yeah, that's a good point, Govinda, because I was thinking about, before going live, I was thinking about that. I personally don't believe West Indies will reach the follow-on, but if we get past 250, I'm not convinced India enforce it. Or rather, let me look at it another way. At the moment, we have batted, how much is, at the moment, West Indies have batted 43 overs for their 140 runs, right? If West Indies, and this is a hard task, but you never know, if West Indies can bat 100 overs in their first innings, I'm not convinced India enforce the follow-on. If we keep the Indian bowlers out there for 100 overs, I think they won't bat for long, but I think they'll bat quickly again. Just because I think 100 overs on a track which isn't fully aiding the spinners yet, but obviously is going to. I just got a feeling India might say, you know what, let's have another bat, and they may like move a couple man up the order just to make sure they've got their eye in ahead of their next test series. I think it's against South Africa. They may just do that. I would be a tad surprised if India enforce the follow-on. The only way I see India enforcing the follow-on is if they bowl us out for less than 200 tomorrow. That's the only way I can see it. But yeah, we shall see. Let's look at some comments. Sorry, people. I'm trying to do a quick one here. So the Boys and Men's activist, how raunchy. He says, I see King got dropped, Mr. CCP. It's just a matter of Campbell should get dropped also. Let's deal with the latter of that. If Campbell gets dropped, let's go with this. This is your take, not my take. If Campbell gets dropped, who's he getting dropped for? Because Uncles ran Craig Brathwaite out of the test side. So who would Campbell be getting dropped for if he was to ever get dropped in the near future? Anyways, let me not talk, because you lot best recognize and understand that Craig's coming straight back into this test side very quickly. Soon as he scores a couple hundreds in first class cricket, he's coming straight back in again, because there's just not enough options in the Caribbean. So anyways, start of the day, India were 318 for 2. By just, I think it was an hour after lunch, they had declared, and a scorecard again. I'm going to be real with you lot. Actually, can I be honest? People? My alarm went at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just went, this is literally what happened. My alarm, so this is me in my bed like this. This is literally what happened this morning. The alarm goes off. So the alarm is next to my head top as I'm sleeping. And just imagine the sound the alarm's making. And this was me. Then the alarm went off, and this is what I did. Cha. I went back to sleep, cuz. You think I was getting up? No way, cuz. India 318 for 2. I don't know what took me. It's like the Lord spoke to me this morning and said, don't kill off yourself with these men. Just get a little 2 hours sleep. Let India do whatever it is they're going to do before lunchtime, and then just wake up. Wake up after lunch and start watching the test match. I didn't watch it, people. So I can't even say nothing to you lot and be like, yeah, so in the first session I thought this happened and this happened. I was holding some serious Zeds, people. I didn't even wake up for these men. These men took me there to the point where I said, I'm not destroying my health. I'm not destroying my sleep for them. I'm going to just get my 2 hours. So when I woke up, I think India was something like 427 for 4. And I was like, oh, okay. So I think, so Jaiswal was run out. Obviously, I had to watch the highlights back. Jaiswal got run out. I saw a couple Indian people. I saw a couple of Indian fans cussing, saying that Shubman Gill sold him down the river. But when I watched the replay, Jaiswal hits it straight down the ground, something like to mid-off or something, or just like to the left of mid-off, and just sets off for a run. At no point did Shubman Gill looked to see where the ball was going. So at no point was Shubman Gill interested in the run. Who's to blame for that? Is Gill to blame because he doesn't respond to the batter's call after all the batters hit the shot and Gill's ball watching? Or is Jaiswal to blame for wanting a quick run for a ball that went straight to mid-off? Who's to blame for that? I didn't watch it live, so I'm just reacting to the replay I saw, and I think it's always different when you watch something on a replay after the event rather than watching it live. But that was a little subplot there in terms of who was actually to blame for that run out. But either way, a free wicket for the West Indies that got rid of Jaiswal. Warwican then got rid of Reddy. Reddy had come out and was like trying to hit some shots. I think poor execution on one of them, just hit it up. Just hit it up straight in the air. So then Warwican got rid of Reddy. So that was Warwican's third wicket. What did Warwican end on, actually? 3 for what? Warwican ended on, was it like 3 for 90? 3 for 98 for Warwican. So, and more importantly, his economy was 2.88. So well done to Warwican. Got a couple of pelters after the first test, but he came back well. 34 overs, 6 maidens, 3 for 3 for 98. So Warwican did his work. And then Chase got rid of Dural, bowled him, and then India was like, yeah, that's enough now. About an hour after lunch, so like, yeah, we're done here. 118 for 5. Let's declare and let's get into the West Indies. Okay, just in terms of the bowling figures, Jaden Seals 22 overs, 2 maidens, none for 88. Anderson Phillips 17 overs, 2 maidens, none for 71. Justin Grays 14 overs, 1 maiden, none for 58. Carrie Pierre 30 overs, 2 maidens, none for 120. Has Pierre taken a wicket? Has he got one? What's Pierre? Wait, hold on. OTCG says that I've frozen. Have I? Have I? I feel like I'm talking, but whatever. Has Pierre taken the wicket in this series? Caribbean Resource Guy says Pierre can't spin a ball to save his life. Pierre looks like he's just bowling arm ball after arm ball. I feel well. I was about to say I feel sorry for Pierre, but I don't feel sorry. What Pierre, like, there's levels to this, innit? Like, what you look... Pierre just came from taking 41 wickets at 13 apiece in our domestic system. And when I tell people that the West Indies domestic system ain't worth jack, let those stats sink in. Carrie Pierre has just come off a season where he took 41 wickets at 13 apiece in our down, cataclysmic, horrendous, ghoulish first-class system. And then people want to say to me, XYZ has scored X amount of runs in first-class cricket. Like it tells me anything. It don't mean anything. If you base West Indies selection purely on numbers that you see in domestic cricket, I'm not convinced you understand cricket in the region. I'm not convinced you have fully looked into the deep-seated problems within the region. If it's enough for you to look at a man scoring 500 and something runs and then going, he should be in the West Indies side. And don't get me wrong. Listen carefully now. Don't get me wrong. By all rational metrics, you can only beat up the system that you're in, right? But if that system is shit, you can't just rely on numbers. Pierre took 41 domestic first-class wickets at 13 apiece. India have treated him like he's a little man. They've treated him like he's a little man, like he's some domestic net bowler. They're just milking, man. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. There's levels to this thing. But they're treating him like little man over here. And then men will want to tell me, look at domestic cricket. Come on, man. If the player in the region, let me tell you something. This is a real bossy statement. If you can't pass my eye test, you should be nowhere near a West Indies team. If you can't pass the Caribbean Cricket Podcast eye test, you shouldn't get a West Indies selection. I don't care about numbers. I don't care about how many runs you scored against CCC. If you can't pass my eye test, Darren Sammy shouldn't be selecting anybody for West Indies team without first running it through me. How about that? How about that? Because I'm telling you now, my metric of selection is harder than whatever we're using right now. And I know I'm not looking. No one can come to me and boast to me about how many runs anybody scored or how many wickets anybody has taken. Because if they can't pass my eye test, they can't play for West Indies. I could have told you that Carrie Pierre ain't going to be successful in India. It's not his fault, though. And the thing is, two things can be right at the same time. I get why he was selected. Like, what else are you going to do? I get it. But I could have told you what was going to happen next. Like, there's levels to this, isn't it? There's real levels to this. This is, and actually, if anyone, because some of you, this is the first time you're listening to Caribbean Cricket Podcast, so you don't, maybe you don't know what I'm like, and you're not used to how confident I am when I drop my points, right? But let me give you an example. Because the thing is, I have archives, right? I've got receipts. Check this out. Any long-time listener of Caribbean Cricket Podcast will back me up in the comments. Now, if you're not a long-time listener, look for the comments that come after I make this point, and people go, it's true, Mash did say that. About 6 months ago, I recorded an episode on Caribbean Cricket Podcast. It was just me. It was me on my own, and it was just about Kevlon Anderson, right? And in that episode, I said, do not call up Kevlon Anderson to the West Indies Test team. I said he's not ready for that right now. I said put him in some A-team cricket to get a look at him. But whatever you do not expose him to international Test cricket this summer. He's not ready for that. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Someone get in the comments right now and confirm to anyone who's not used to CCP that is exactly what I said before his selection to the West Indies Test side. 4 months before he got selected, I said, whatever you do not select this guy. They selected the man. They allowed the 500 and whatever amount of runs to say, yeah, let's bring him through. Mitchell Starc showed him he was little man. Mitchell Starc came with the pink ball and said, you're little man to me, duck. And the thing is, when I watched it happen to Kevlon, I was like, you see, why did we do this to the Ute? Why did we put the Ute man in this position when it was obvious what might happen to him? So when you lot think I'm being overconfident and bossy, when I'm saying don't select no one till you've run it past me, I'm being serious. Don't select anyone till you've rung me up and said, Mash, what do you think? Do you reckon this one can work still? Anyways, whatever. Let's move. So India made their 5-1, whatever it was they made for 5. And I was locked in after that because I was like, right, okay, 5-1-8 for 5 is what India made. And I was genuinely locked in to see how West Indies were gonna bat. And not locked in because like I was locked in the sense of I just genuinely wanted West Indies to show some fight. At no point was I expecting them to dominate India in any shape or form. I just wanted them to, first and foremost, give up a better showing than they showed in the first test. And secondly, each batter, to whatever level they can, at least make India work much harder than they had to work in the first test match. And I actually think they did. In the Caribbean Cricket Discord, if you're not part of the Caribbean Cricket Discord group, become a patron, people. You can see the ticker tape below, www.patreon.com/CaribCricket, right? Become a patron for as little as $2, £2, whatever a month, right? In the CCP Discord group, after the first day's play, I said to Neeks was in there, and I said to Neeks, or I think I put a comment in the Discord. That's it. Neeks replied to it and said, I completely agree, right? And the point I put in the Discord was, I genuinely think these players are trying their best, right? In this particular test match, based on their performance on day 2 with the bat, I genuinely think every single player, maybe you want to question Roston Chase, but I genuinely think every single player was trying their best to be watchful, to be positive in defense, to play each ball on its merits, to try and construct an innings. The fact that the way most of them got out was relatively soft, that's a separate point, and we can get onto that. But I actually think if you are being completely realistic, they were trying their best. They were actually trying their best, right? Let me find the innings. Tajan Ranchandapur faced 67 balls. He gave us a half century of balls. How raunchy, but he was trying his best. Alec Afanase gave us 84 balls before he got out, trying his best. Shea Hope is unbeaten on 31. He's faced 46 balls. He's trying his best. Tevin Imlak has faced 31 balls for his 40 not out. He's really trying his best. Now, we can talk about how everyone got out, right? Campbell was unlucky, hit one straight to Sai Sudarshan, who was a short leg. Any other day of the week, that doesn't get caught. Sai Sudarshan's lucky that ball didn't lick him down completely. That's a freak dismissal. Campbell's unlucky for that one, right? What did Tage do again? Did Tage nick to slip? I feel like Tage nicked a first slip. I think it was soft. I think the ball before, he may have licked Jadeja down the ground, and maybe he got a bit bossy and overconfident from that one, and then nicked a slip. It was a soft end to a watchful innings from Tage. And actually, what I liked about Tage's innings, and it feels ridiculous. It feels ridiculous to say it off only 34, but I actually thought Tage mixed good defense with aggression, and he was setting up well. And at the end of the day, whether people like to hear me say it or not, a West Indian hitting a little 30-40, that's kind of where we're at right now in terms of saying, well, they tried their best with that one. So Tage did his thing. Alec had a 50 there waiting for him. And this is why this episode, this day's review, is called The Hunt for a 50, because we may not get one. Maybe Shea will give us a 50, maybe. But Alec literally had a 50 on the plate. He'd looked completely unflustered, had got to a 40, 41, had treated the spin, like literally Alec looked so comfortable against spin, which was why he was selected in the first place, right? Alec was looking so comfortable and then just gave it away. Tried to be too over aggressive after picked the wrong shot to be over aggressive to, and just, I think, hit it straight down the lap of Jadeja when he literally had a 50 there waiting for him. And again, going back to the CCP Discord, I'm about to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes, people. Going back to the CCP Discord, my big critique of the players today, as much as they were trying their best, my big critique, and maybe this speaks to modern day West Indian players in general, how much or how long are they really able to concentrate for? Forget ability for a second. Forget ability, natural ability, raw ability, refined ability. Forget all that for a second. Let's just talk about concentration powers. How long can the average West Indian player actually concentrate at the highest level? Santoki and I used to joke that every drinks break, the players must be drinking Ray and Nephew in their drinks bottle, because a man always gets out straight after the drinks break, right? And I think this is something that we don't focus on enough, right? Powers of concentration. Forget ability, just powers of concentration. Who in the nets, when they're doing their net session, is batting? Who's doing a shiv and just saying, right, I'm going to face the bowling machine for 7 hours and not try to score any runs? And you might say there's no money in doing that. But who can actually bat time? Do you want to know the only batter in the region who can bat time? Craig Brathwaite. But the uncles chased him out of West Indies cricket and said he's the reason why we're shit. But he is the only available guy left in the region who we know for certain can bat time at the highest level. Before we talk about ability, we're just about test match cricket. Before we enter any discussions of ability, let's work on powers of concentration, because I do just worry about concentration time for some of these West Indies players. The way some of them get out so soft, I always think in my head, how, like, do you have a block where, like, And it's not like, let's say they're trying their best, but do they have a block where it's just like, oh, I've brain fade, like I can't do it no more. Like, you know, like when I go gym, like I do some sessions with a personal trainer. What you think? You think this leng body comes free? Anyways. I do some sessions with a personal trainer, and you know when you're in the gym and the personal trainer is going 5 more, and in your head you're thinking 5 more, yuck, and you can't lift yourself. Sometimes I wonder. Sometimes I wonder if that's what goes on for West Indies cricketers. You know. Like the lactic acid is building up for them. They see there's 10 more minutes to go before lunch, and they're thinking, Jaja, I'm struggling out here. Yuck, I can't keep going. And they just give it away. I sometimes wonder if that's what's going on for them. But yeah, so Alec gave it away. Roston came in and out like Grandpa Simpson, just in and out through the revolving door, gave it away. They panned to Brian Lara up in the stands. Roston just patted the ball back to Jadeja. I know Brian Lara wanted to cuss. Lara did that to say, yeah, why didn't you just play that with a straight bat? But I know he wanted to cuss. He must have been aware that cameras are on him, because I just kissed my teeth and just said, ja. Imlat looked good and compact. And it's just about how deep can Hope and Imlat take it tomorrow. Obviously, Graves is still to come. The good news is Graves, Carrier, Warwican, if he actually wants to concentrate, and Anderson Phillip, all of them can do a bit of something. So I do not believe it is unreasonable. I don't think it's unreasonable to demand that West Indies at least get to 250 tomorrow before we're all out. And obviously that's nowhere near good enough, but we're not comparing ourselves to India. We're comparing ourselves to ourselves. So I'm setting the boys tomorrow 250 minimum. If you get 300, I think if we can get to 300, I think all of you should receive the highest honor and medal that your individual countries can give you. If we can get to 300, I want every single person to receive a medal from their head of state when they come back to the Caribbean. If we can get to 300, but I'm setting you 250 minimum. That's my expectations tomorrow. Let's try add another 110 runs. And then, then we can go from there. And we can go from there. But okay, let me give a hot take. Then I'm going, people. The show is only supposed to go 20 minutes. So let me give a hot take. I think this game goes into day 4. Whatever happens tomorrow, I think we will still be here for day 4. There's my hot take. I don't even think that is a hot take. I actually think that's actually what's going to happen. I think this game will go into day 4, people. And if it goes into day 4, yeah, if it goes into day 4, I think all of us in our respective nations should meet the players back at the airport and give them like a ticker tape parade. If they can take this game to day 4, I'm saying to everyone in the Caribbean, head to your airport of your chosen nation island and meet your returning heroes if we can take this game to day 4. Ticker tape parade for every man if we can take it to day 4. I'll be Machel St. Patrick Hoot, one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Listen, I've got to get out here, people. This was never supposed to go this long. Oh, there's one super chat. I better do that before I go. Sovic Hader, thank you for the super chat, says, bring back old West Indies players. Do you know, I'm going to do an episode on that, Sovic. If we brought the band back together of the remaining West Indian players that are considered greats who are still alive, how much do you think they would make? Genuine question. How much do you think they would make? So Viv would be in there, Lara would be in there, Chris Gale would be in there, Sarwan would be in there, Shiv would be in there. People who are considered very good to great, right? Who can still hold a bat. How much do you think they would make? What do you reckon, people? What do you reckon? They'd make more than 27. I reckon they'd make more than 27. Anyways, people, there was a few more comments. Actually, I should have just said. Scorch Earth Tactics says, should all different Caribbean islands make their own cricket boards? Nope. I don't think that's viable. For a start, how they're going to make the money. But we can talk about that in a future episode. And then last one, OMS says, love for CCP, do a live show in London, please. Yes, I am seriously giving thought to that. But I just don't know how many people would actually turn up and if it would be viable to do something like that. But I do think it's something worth exploring. So yeah, I'll think about it for sure. Listen, people, Harshit Mercer says, I have an idea to improve West Indies cricket. No sex until you win the next game after a loss. No sex until you win the test match cricket. No sex until you win the next game after a loss. That means what you're basically asking then, given that we've got New Zealand next, there is every chance, if that's what we're going to do, there is every chance, you know, like that Man United fan who is growing his hair out until Man United win 5 games in a row. What's going to happen then to all these West Indies players is they're going to have the biggest set of blue balls in their lives. No sex till they win the next game after a loss, fam. Anyways, how raunchy. Let me go. Machel St. Patrick Hewitt, one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. God. I'm out of here, people. I'm out of here. See you all tomorrow. Let's see if we can mission someone get a 50. The hunt for the 50. You ever seen that film Hunt for the Red October? We're on the hunt for a 50. Let's try to take this to day 4. I've been the Machel St. Patrick Hewitt, one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Peace, people. See you soon.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.